The term custom culture came from two people, Greg Escalante and Craig Stesic. And they came up with that title for the show that they put together down at Laguna Beach Art Museum with Bolton Colburn, who was the director of the museum. Custom culture itself, or what we think of as custom culture, started in 1977 with the Rat Fink reunion. The Rat Fink reunion was started by me and Suzanne. Every year when we worked at Ed Roth's, just before Christmas, there was a big party of the employees and the gang that hung around Roth Studios. It was just before Christmas started. So when Roth went out of business in 1970, a long period elapsed where we didn't see any of the old friends, and we decided to have a reunion party, a giant barbecue. We knew a fellow named Jim Brucker that had a museum in Buena Park that Roth worked for. And we talked to Jim Brucker and then let us have this gigantic space, this enormous warehouse space to have this barbecue. And we just invited the people that worked for Roth's and the friends and the hangar owners from the 60s, 50s and 60s. We invited Ed. Ed wasn't sure he wanted to come, but he finally showed up. So this thing was started without Roth. How does the custom culture thing tie in?
Yeah.
Because the Rat Fink reunion was the core group with Von Dutch and Roth and me. It was underground hot rodders and bikers. And its earliest simulation, its earliest grouping was in 1977 at this Rat Fink reunion. It's important to understand that the Rat Fink reunion, the first year, the employees put it on. The second year, Roth liked it so much, he took it over. See, in 78, 79. Then I think after about 3 or 4 years, we lost that location.
The hangar, in Buena Park.
In Buena Park, the warehouse. We lost that. So Ed Roth was so much into it that he found a place called Ken's Sign Shop. That they moved it there, and I can't remember exactly where it was.
Ken's Sign Shop.
Yeah, it was Ken's Sign Shop. So from that point on, Ed had control of it. He saw that originally he didn't want any part of it, see? And then he got to see what a success it was. He took it over and then started inviting people. So this is what later evolved into the Moon Eyes thing.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, almost nobody realizes the origin of this thing, you know. It goes clear back to 1977 to the Rat Fink reunion.
Okay.
And this was the first of any of these things.
Right.
See? Well, before 1977, it was nothing.
Right.
Until the old days at Roth Studios before Christmas.
Right. Okay.
The first 1977 Rat Fink reunion.
Say
with Von Dutch and Roth and all Roth's kids and all the people that worked.
Right.
There's Newt, Fuller, Dirty Doug, Goober, Dan Woods, and I think Jake's in here somewhere. No, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Jake's right here. But that was the origin of it.
Right.
They came up with the name Custom Culture. Greg Escalante and Craig Stesic and Bolton Colburn come up with the name Custom Culture because they were having this in a formal, real, serious museum, and there'd never ever been anything like this ever in a real museum. It's just too far out, too funky,
right?
You know. So they were really putting pressure and taxing the people that underwrote the museum. All the power that made the museum happen really didn't want this thing, see? So they tried to come up with a real interesting name, and that's how they come up with Custom Culture, like it was culture. So they could bring this whole package of all the famous artists and whatnot. And it was an enormously successful show. Up to that point, the Laguna Beach Art Museum is the oldest art museum in Southern California, or in all of California, on the West Coast. It's 75 years old at the time, so add another 10, it's like about 88 years old now. So they just did very conservative art there, you know. So they resisted and resisted having this show, and it was such an enormous success with them. It just opened up a whole different world of opportunities for different kind of art to come in.
Right.
Von Dutch was contrary. Do you know what contrary means? You know how a little 14-year-old girl acts? One minute she wants the candy, the next minute she doesn't.
Yeah, right.
You know, off on, acting stupid. Well, Von Dutch, I'm sure, was really going to enjoy the pleasure of being the big man, but he was acting like he hated the whole thing and didn't want anything to do with it. See? But he died before that, so he could have caused a lot of problems. See?
Oh, it had me okay.
So he saved himself. He saved his reputation by dying. Just like the clothing, you know. If he's alive, they wouldn't be having his clothes.
I see.
No. No, it was, the date had already been set and he died before the date.
Okay.